Contending teams can be made into championship teams during free agency. Sometimes an additional 3-and-D wing or a backup big is all a team needs to get over the hump. Free agency starts tomorrow at 6 p.m. and while there are some big name stars, they each have question marks surrounding them. This free agency class is really all about the role players. In this video, I'm going over 5 of the best championship level role players in free agency. The ranking will be based on production as well as experience and a projected contract. A player like Kyle Kuzma is better than guys on this list, but not in relation to how much he'll likely get paid. Coming in at number 5 is Seth Curry. Curry is a fantastic player who is barely getting talked about after a roller coaster of a season in Brooklyn. Seth came to Brooklyn via the James Harden trade and has experienced coaching changes and complete roster turnover with the Nets. Curry was not used to his fullest this past year because of the complete logjam of shooters that the Nets accumulated. He averaged just 9 points in about 20 minutes a game. Curry is capable of so much more though. In the past 5 years, Curry is shooting 43.6% from downtown and his per 36 numbers are 16 points, 3 boards, and 3 assists a game. Curry is a true veteran, 32 years old, and has played with 8 different teams and in all different types of systems. He's also played in 41 playoff games in which he has 52, 47, and 81 splits off 11 points a game. Seth is an undersized guard at 6'2", and with that he can be a liability on the defensive end of the ball. But his shooting, as well as his ability to be a secondary ball handler, can make him a quality rotational piece for a playoff team. Curry turns 33 in August, and is coming off a down year in terms of production. He likely will be signed for less than the full mid-level exception, and whatever team signs him will get an elite sharpshooter for a bargain. Next is Mason Plumlee, another Duke product and another player from an NBA family, albeit at a lesser pedigree. The journeyman center is looking for his 5th team in 4 years. Last year, Plumlee averaged 11 points and 9 rebounds a game during his time with both the Hornets and Clippers. In that time, Miles also switched his shooting hand and went from a 39% to a 64% free throw shooter. What makes Plumlee so appealing is his price. Miles will likely sign for the minimum. If you're a playoff team, you don't want Plumlee starting, but he can still offer quality rotational minutes in the regular season as well as minutes in the playoffs depending upon the matchup. Number 3 is Grant Williams. Williams is the lone player on this list who is a restricted free agent, so Boston could potentially match any offer that teams give him. That being said, Boston is already struggling with the salary cap and is expected to give Jaylen Brown a supermax extension this summer. This could limit re-signing Williams. Whether it's dressing up as Batman or getting into it with Jimmy Butler during the playoffs, Grant Williams' persona can sometimes overlook his talent, but he does have a lot of talent. In the past 2 years, Grant has been one of the league's best catch-and-shoot players, shooting 40% from downtown. His biggest contributions don't show up in the box score though. Williams is a tough player who is willing to guard the opposing team's best player and out-hustle everyone. Williams really shined in the 2022 playoffs versus Milwaukee, where he was instrumental in helping slow down Giannis. He also led Boston in scoring in Game 7, where he had 27 points. Williams is looking for his second contract, which means he's looking for a payday. The 6'6" forward turned down a 4-year, $50 million extension in the fall from Boston, but he shouldn't be too expensive. Playoff teams like Dallas or Sacramento could be in contention for Grant, or up-and-coming teams like Orlando or Houston could grab him. I predict he will receive $16 to $18 million annually. Next is Splash Mountain, Brook Lopez. At 35 years old, Lopez is somehow coming off of one of the best years in his career. With Milwaukee, Lopez averaged 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks. In fact, Brook was the runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year behind Jaren Jackson Jr. Yes, Brook did benefit from playing alongside Giannis and Drew, 2 of the best defenders in all of basketball, but he is also elite on the defensive end of the court. The Bucks have some big decisions to make this summer between Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez both being unrestricted free agents. Brook Lopez is 35 and missed almost all of the 21-22 season with back surgery. Even though Lopez played 78 games this past year, Milwaukee may be hesitant to invest in his future. It's hard to tell whether Brook is looking to contend for another title or if he's content with making as much money as possible in one final contract. According to Woj, Houston is eager to invest in a center in free agency and especially interested in Brook Lopez. I predict Brook will receive a 3-year deal around $54 million. My final free agent is Jakob Poeltl. Like Brook Lopez, Poeltl is a 7'1" defensive juggernaut. Poeltl does not have Brook's shooting, but he's a better rebounder and much younger. Poeltl is 27 and coming off a season in which he averaged a quality 13 points, 9 boards, and a block. Poeltl has had a very unique career thus far. Drafted by Toronto, sent to the Spurs in the Kawhi deal, and then traded back to Toronto this past year at the trade deadline. The Raptors clearly love Poeltl, and rightfully so. He's an extremely durable center who knows his role. He plays elite defense and does not demand the ball on offense. Mark Stein reported that the Raptors plan to offer Poeltl $20 million annually. I believe that this is the perfect price for Poeltl, but I personally think the Raptors should look towards rebuilding or at least retooling their roster. Toronto does have Poeltl's bird rights, but he could sign elsewhere. So those are 5 championship level role players in this 2023 free agency class. Let me know in the comment section down below if you agree with my picks, if you think there's some players I forgot, and if you think I'm overpricing or underpricing their value for an annual salary. Like always, I'm Lance with Ball Withdrawal. I'd like to thank you for joining in and watching this video, and have a good day. See ya. Bye.